Hi everyone, it's Kathy here from Bello's Designs, and today we're going to be recreating a card a bit like this one. Now I've used a bit of artistic license in this because I've got the wise men going across on camels and it's snowing. Now obviously it wasn't snowing in the biblical story, but as I say, artistic license, and these adorable characters from Cardio Stamps. So to make this card, we're going to need a piece of white card or multifarious card, 5.25 inches by 5.25 inches. And then you're going to have a piece of black matting card that is 5.5 inches. And the card itself measures 6 inches square when folded. So that's the card. The stamps we're going to use. Firstly, I'm going to be using the Lavinia Holly, mini Holly stamp, which is LAV 510. I've got the Cardio Christmas Companions, and I'm using quite a few of the deer and bunny in that one. Magical Christmas, and I'm going to use the backdrop, the little stars and a reindeer. Christmas Greenery, and I'm going to be just using a shrub off that, just one. The Nativity 3, I'm using the very small 3 wise men. And Starstruck, I'm going to be using the fox. I think it's just the fox actually. Oh, it might be that reindeer. No, just the fox, sorry, in that one. Right, so let's get started. Oh, sorry, firstly, the inks I'm going to be using are Versafine Clair Nocturne, Twilight and Bluebell. I'm also going to be using a little bit of PanPastel, which is, I don't know how you pronounce this, Patheo Blue shade. I can lift that up, you might be able to see. I'm just going to use that a little bit for the background. And I've got a couple of blending brushes, and I identify my blending brushes by signs. And I've put Versafine Clair on that one, and I put PanPastel sticker on that one so they don't get mixed up. And lastly, I've got a PanPastel pencil in a light blue to just ground my creatures. If you don't have any of the PanPastels, but you have a PanPastel pencil, you could probably use that, or you could just use a light blue ink, Distress Oxide or whatever, just to do the top part there. Okay, right, let's get started. I'm going to start with, just get my acrylic blank. I'm going to start with this backdrop there. So I'm going to do this in Twilight. Going to give it a good ink, make sure it's all covered. And then I'm going to put a little bit of the Bluebell on there as well, just to give it quite a blue tone. And then I'm just going to line it up quite close to the top and press down. Just going to give that a minute because it is quite an inky stamp. Just let that all settle. There we go, that's quite pretty, the backdrop. I'm just going to clean this straight away because it's a coloured ink. If I don't clean it straight away, it will stain. There we go. Right, and next I'm going to do, I think what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to start with the three wise men, and this is the Nocturne. I'm going to have them just under there, so they're quite a long way back in the distance. There we go. Next we have that reindeer that's on the right. We'll have him about here. That's a quick wipe. And next I'm going to do my little fox in the corner here. I'm going to have this little deer. She's going to be talking to the fox. About there. Next we have this larger deer at the front. She's going to be having a chat with a little bunny. And then we're going to have just clean that up first. And we're going to put this last deer it's going to go about here. And it's going to be having a chat with a squirrel down here in the corner. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to use a bit of the twilight. Take quite a bit of that off because I just literally want it to be just a torn piece like that, just for a little bit of the grounding. These are like little snowdrifts. Here. There we go. So that's all my little snowdrifts. Next I want to stamp some stars. No, actually next I want to do the PanPastel up the top. You have to be a bit careful with this because it can be a little bit messy. So don't put your PanPastel on anywhere near your actual work, because as you see, once you tap into it, you can see all the bits that fly off. So just blend that in. Now, people say about sealing the PanPastels. If you want to seal the PanPastels, you can buy specific sprays for that, or you can just use a cheap hairspray. I tend to use a cheap hairspray. You can even use Vaseline, in fact, to seal it in. reason I've used this PanPastel rather than ink is the actual colour. I really like the colour of this. But it is messy, and I'm going to remove that now because otherwise it'll get on your work. And I'm going to quickly wipe down the side there while we're here. Otherwise I'm going to put my hands in it and then it will go onto my work and spoil it. So just be careful. Right, that's it. Now I'm ready to bluebell, and I'm going to do the stars. Actually, because mine's slightly lower than the other card, I'm just going to go along the top as well. That's it. Right. Next, I'm going to use my little rough bit of paper to plant some little bushes, just some small bushes in the blue. Actually, I'm going to use the twilight blue this time. So I'm just going to do some random bushes around by the creatures. Just a little tiny one there. And we'll put one here. Lastly, put one there. So just randomly placing them around the creatures on the picture. And then I'm going to use the holly. I'm going to use the nocturne for the holly, so I'm going to have that in black. Get that bit off the edge. Oopsie. Just put that bit up there. A bit here and a bit there. A little bit at the bottom. Wipe that off my finger. Right, so now all I'm going to do now is ground some of my trees. Three wise men. Like a shadow. Blend it in a little bit. There we go. So now I just need to glue them into place. Let's get my glue. If you wanted to make it really festival, you could put some coloured like blue glitter and things on the plants. I think it's a bit over glittered this Christmas. I'm just going to place that central on there. And that's on this stage. There we go. with this card, you can either do it that way or that way. I'm going to do it this way this time. Let's try it. It's very hard to see on camera that you've got it straight and it's white on white as well. So there we go. So that's the original one, which I've got opening that way. And this is the one I've just done, which opens that way. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already joined our Facebook groups, please do consider joining our 2 groups. We have Del Bello's Designs Lounge for all the products that are Lavinia, and we also have Del Bello's a la carte lounge, and that's for all the other products that Patty sells, like cardio stamps, sweet poppy stencils, etc. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.